These 10 watches right here had the most dramatic crash in the recent years, and I can't wait to tell you guys what they were and what they are now. Make sure to stay to the end because I saved the biggest drop and most dramatic one for number 10. So first up we got is the famous Rolex Panda Daytona. Now, a lot of you guys probably know the Panda Daytona, even from years and years ago before this whole watch craze, always went over retail. This was always a watch that you cannot just walk into a local AD and pick up. This watch at the height of the market was going for around $54,000 to $56,000, and there was people out there willing to pay it, and they were buying it, and there was gray market dealers paying a little bit less than that because the watch was moving. Today, for a brand new one, you could pick it up in the $32,000 to $33,000 range. For a pre-owned, you're still looking at around 28 to 30K. So they are still double over retail, but it's much better than paying triple to quadruple over MSRP price. We actually have this one currently for sale. This is a 2020, like new, for about $29,500. The last brand new one that I sold, I did sell it for about $33,000. They are still holding. They've been holding at that price. They did dip actually a little bit under that, but now they are back up. And to be totally honest with you, Panda Daytonas at my store, the shelf life is probably 2 to 4 days. So they are moving, they're still really hot, they're very popular. I know a lot of people go, gray market dealers are going down, the prices are coming down. Prices did come down, market is a little bit more stabilized now, and watches are moving. So if it's something you're wanting, come in and pick it up. Holidays are coming up. Normally when holidays come up, prices do increase about 5 to 8%. Do I see it coming down a little bit more? Look, anything can happen. Anything in the world can happen, but I think the price is what the price is. The next one up on the list, I unfortunately just sold it earlier today, so I don't have it for the video, is the Rolex GMT2 Sprite, the 126720. I don't know if you guys remember in the last video that we did a few months ago with Cheeto, he actually had it on when he walked into the store. He didn't pay the top price of what I'm about to tell you, but when this watch first dropped, it was going in the $55,000 to $60,000 range. If you wanted to be the first guy on the block with it, and then it slowly started decreasing and then dramatically started decreasing. Today, you could pick up a brand new Sprite in the 21 to 22 range. The Jubilee bracelet will always go for around $1,500 to $2,000 more than the Oyster bracelet, but that's across all the GMTs. But this watch, I knew from the minute it came out, there was gonna be a dramatic decrease in value. I only sold one at the store, and the one that I sold it to the customer, I told him that he's gonna take a huge hit. He still bought it, but for the most part, all the ones that I got in, I actually wholesaled out for all the money because I didn't want my customers paying that kind of money because I knew the value was gonna come down. And the last thing I need is for a customer to buy a watch for $50,000, $55,000 and they come back to trade in a year later and I tell them that I'm only gonna give them 20 grand. But if we can avoid the situation, we'll do it at all costs. And I hope that goes out for all dealers. All right, next up on the list is the Rolex Daytona, the famous John Mayer with the beautiful green dial with the yellow gold casing, yellow gold bracelet. Probably one of the most stunning Daytonas they made. I personally like the platinum with the all the factory diamond bezel as my favorite, but this one is definitely a stunner and it is an eye catcher when it's on the wrist. This at the height of the market was going for $150 to $170. That was the top of the market. Today, a brand new one will probably cost you in the 85 to 90 range, and you can pick up a nice pre-owned one, a couple years old, in the mid 70s, low 70, depending if it's box papers. Do I see it ever going up to that value? Who knows? It can happen. Watch gets discontinued. They're very, very hard to find, but if you like the watch, great value. Do I see it going less than 60K range? I don't think it ever will, but who knows? And for this watch in particular, we are asking about $73,500. All right, next up on the list is the Patek Philippe 5980R. I don't have one in stock, unfortunately. I apologize. At the height of the market, this watch was going for almost $400,000. It was like in the 380 to 390 range, depending on who you bought it from. Today, a brand new one will probably cost you in the 220 range with the new buckle. A pre-owned one will probably cost you in the 175 to 180, 185. That's a dramatic decrease. At that price, I mean, I personally thought it was a little bit too high. There was some people still paying for it. And if you're one of those people, I do feel bad, I'm sorry. You either take a huge hit. Next up, we got the AP Royal Oak Jumbo, the 39 millimeter in stainless steel or in the rose gold, right? So I have actually the rose gold one in stock right now. Great looking piece, gonna sit at a 39 millimeter case size with a thinner casing than the regular Royal Oak. Beautiful watch. The stainless steel ones at the top of the market were going in the 140 to 150 range for 15202. today for a stainless steel one, you could probably pick them up in the mid 60s, low 70 ranges. 16202 will still probably cost you closer to the 90 to 100. It's going to be a little bit newer, but compared to what they were, I mean, it dropped by more than half. So that's a dramatic decrease in value. I mean, it's going for probably double retail now. I mean, this one right here is actually a brand new 2023, super fresh. We're asking about $122,000 for it. Jumbo, 39 millimeter, stunning timepiece. If this is something you want, we do have it in stock. Come by and check it out. Next up, we got is the 5164A, which is a stainless steel. I have the rose gold version, which I'm gonna do the rose gold in the review as well too. This watch in the stainless steel at the top height of the market was going in the 130 to 140 range. Today, you could pick up a 5164 in the 75 to 80K range. So that is also a huge decrease, dramatic loss. But you also have the 5164R, which is the one I'm actually holding in my hands right now. So it's the same exact watch, but one's in stainless steel and one's in rose gold. So always remember, the letter at the end of the 4-digit number is always gonna tell you the base of the model. So this one at the height of the market was going for around $165,000 to $170,000. Today, it's gonna run you a little under 100 grand, depending if it's brand new or pre-owned. So that's also a huge hit, huge decrease, but it's still a lot higher compared to the MSRP on the watch. Always remember that. So a lot of these watches that I'm telling you are taking these huge hits from what they were at the market. They're still about 30 to 40, sometimes even double retail, triple retail of what it is at the MSRP from the actual factory itself. So if you're able to still buy these at retail, it's still a great deal. You're still gonna make money. You're not gonna make as much money as you were from before, but there's still a lot of profit in some of these watches. Now, the next one we got is a Rolex Pepsi, the famous Pepsi, right? This is gonna be on the Jubilee bracelet. This is brand new. At the top of the market, these went up to about $32,000. At the bottom of the market, they were selling them brand new around $18,000, $19,000. The prices actually did start going back up on these today. If you want a brand new one, it is gonna cost you in the 22 to 23 range. Pepsis are not easy to find right now. They are a little bit harder, especially for brand new ones. Pre-owned, you're looking at it under $20,000. So on some of these, it is a huge hit. Less money because less money was involved as well, but percentage-wise, and the decrease is about the same as all the other ones. Next up on the list is the AP 50th anniversary Royal Oak. I don't care if you want to do it based on the chrono, non-chrono. This one, we're going to do it on the chrono. This is the 50-year anniversary blue dial. At the top of the market, this was going for around $125,000 to $150,000. When the green dial first came out, people were asking $240,000 to $250,000 when they first got released. Today, you could pick up one of these watches in the mid 60s to high 60s, maybe low 70s, but that's a huge hit. I mean, that's like half the money. The watch still goes over retail, so don't forget that. Still MSRP is still higher, 26240 ST. The 50th anniversaries will always go for about 10% more than the non-50th. And you could tell it's a 50th anniversary because right here, when you take a look at it, you're gonna see that 50th right there. Between the newest model out and this one, yeah, that's the only way that you can really tell that it's the 50th anniversary. And this one right here, we're selling it for about $67,000. Next up we got is a 5990R, the stunning Nautilus rose gold with the blue dial. One of my favorite Nautiluses, but there was a dramatic drop in the watch. At the top of the market, people were asking in the high 400,000s. So it was almost $500,000 for the 5990R. Today, you can pick one up in the high 200s, but it's still big money over the MSRP. It is a lot more expensive than the 5980R. A lot of people get confused between the two models. They are two completely different models, completely different movements, but both great looking watches. They are holding their value at what they are right now. So for number 10, the Rolex Daytona Rainbow. I mean, I could not believe at the top of the market what people were asking for, and they were selling. Somebody listed one up for sale. You asked a couple weeks later, hey, is it still available? No, sorry, sold it. So it was being listed and it was being sold. That's different, right? A lot of people go, oh, well, you know, is it actually selling? They were selling. They were selling for almost $1 million at one point. I mean, they were in the, you know, $850,000 to $950,000 range. I mean, think about that. $850,000 to $950,000 for a Rainbow Daytona. You know, the ones with the full pave, full bracelet. Even the non-pave ones were still going in the $700,000 to $800,000 range. I mean, those are right now going in the $350,000 to $500,000 range, depending on the combination that you get. Believe it or not, 10, 15 years ago, they were going in the $100,000 range. People didn't even want them. They thought they were kind of weird. So if you bought it a long time ago, you're still doing really good. You still 5 times your money based on the retail. If you're able to buy it at retail, which is going to be pretty much impossible. If you do want one, you're most likely going to have to go to the gray market to get one, because not every AD gets a Rainbow Daytona. Rolex will actually pick and choose who they give the watch to, which dealers get it, and it's gonna go to a special customer that spends a lot of money on other things. If it's something you want, something you can afford, jump right in, get it, but they are still commanding a big premium, but not from what they were before. We actually just sold one a couple months ago for about 400K, brand new 2023, fully stickered. And believe me when I tell you guys, the watch in person is out of this world.
Predict one watch right now that you think is gonna end up on this list like a couple months down the road.
Like going down more?
Yeah, like not right here, not that we have, but like any watch.
Okay, I think, and people might get mad at me for saying this, I think the new Le Mans Rolex Daytona that just came out, that people are asking $275,000 to $300,000 for, I personally think in 6 months to a year and a half, we're gonna be doing a video on that, about the decrease. Because yes, it's rare, very difficult to get. It's a new see-through case back and all that, but it's still a white gold Daytona. At the end of the day, there's no special movement to it. There's no difference between the rose gold one or the white gold with the blue dial or anything like that, or none of the newer ones that they're coming out with. It is rarer, but I don't see it holding at $250,000 to $300,000. I think that's an astronomical number. I mean, if you're somebody out there that's willing to pay and you want to bet on the future, me personally, I don't think they're gonna keep going up. All right, Nate, you better not make me look dumb. That better become true. No, I'm just joking. I mean, look, guys, anything can happen, right? In my opinion, it's a white gold Daytona. I mean, it's a cool piece, great piece. I mean, the color combination, everything about it is great, but there's no like special complication to it. They didn't like the new with the see-through case back. I mean, do I think it should go for 100, 120? Yeah, you know, 100, 120 grand for the rarity of it and how hard it is to get. Yes, but $250,000 to $300,000 for a white gold Daytona, that's a little much, in my opinion. I'm gonna give you a bonus watch, because I just literally thought about it right now. The AP Perpetual Black Ceramic Skeleton. Not the non-skeleton, the skeleton. The height of the market, that watch was going for $750,000 to $800,000, and you couldn't even touch it, you couldn't get your hands on it. Whoever bought it, very rarely ever sold it. Today, that same watch, you could pick it up in the $350,000 to $400K range. That's kind of like the Rainbow Daytona. That's a massive hit, massive loss, but people were buying it and they were holding it, they weren't selling it.
Now, I got one more question for you. Out of all the watches that you said today, which one took you back by surprise the most?
The Rainbow. I didn't think it was gonna keep skyrocketing, but I didn't see it as a dramatic hit like that, in my personal opinion.
You thought it was going to like what?
I thought it would probably settle on like the, you know, the full pave, I thought it would probably settle on like the 650, 700K range from the, you know, 900, 950 that people were asking for it. Because it's still, you know, it's a beautiful watch. It's probably, or it is, the toughest Rolex to get at an AD. It's like near impossible. Not even every Rolex AD gets it. So that was, for me, the biggest surprise in the hit. All these other ones, I mean, like the Royal Oak 50th anniversary, I mean, with the green dial going for $250, I mean, like, come on, that was like crazy, you know, and then they dropped down to 180, 190, and then 150, and then even these, I mean, even the 26331, the STs, the older Royal Oaks, I mean, those were at $110, $120 at one point. It was getting to the point where it was almost like unsellable. It's a hard thing to digest to pay $120,000 for a stainless steel watch. You know, now those older ones, the 26331s, you could pick them up in the mid to high 40s. It's still a good amount of money, but it's affordable now, right? Now it's attractive, like, oh, okay, like, you know what? I can trade in a couple of watches, I can buy that, or I can just buy that watch. But if you're holding that same watch and you're asking somebody, hey, give me $120,000 or give me $110,000, it's crazy. Now, a lot of people think gray market dealers, oh, they're so upset that prices came down. No, it's actually better for us that prices came down, because don't forget, yes, we ask those astronomical numbers, those big numbers, but we'll also have to put up the money for it too, right? So I would rather, and you're making the same spread, right? It's like if I put up $110,000 for a watch, what am I gonna ask? 115, 117, right? If I put up 40 grand for a watch, I'm still gonna ask $45,000, $46,000. So it's actually better for me if it's lower, and I also have to invest less money and I'm not constantly chasing, right? You buy a watch for 100, you sell it for 107, and then all of a sudden it costs you 115 to replace the watch, and then it costs you 120. That's just, in reality, any businessman or business-minded person will understand that. You would rather have the prices be stabilized, and you don't want to make mistakes. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap up this video. Thanks for always watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you think from the top 11, I should say, because I gave you guys a bonus one, I should have included, make sure to comment it down below. I would love to see it. I would love to hear it. And if I get enough comments, maybe I'll do another video on those ones. And also another one, make sure to comment down below which one you think will be in the list in 3 to 4 months from now, or if you agree with me.
Pretty.